Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever the day is that you have clicked us on. Welcome, it's your boy, Pastor Buddy King, whatever you want to call me. We don't get caught up in titles. And yes, once again, I'm here with my mans, Mr. Pastor Alberts. What's going on?
What's going on, sir? How y'all doing out there?
All right. So glad you guys can join us again. We thought today for our podcast, we're going to tap into the politics worlds a little bit.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. I think it's important as
Are
we...
you sure?
I'm not sure I want to do it, but...
You know, politics and stuff, yeah, it gets kind of hairy sometimes when we start talking about that. And why in the world do black people want to be concerned about politics?
Well, I think that's exactly why we're going to have this conversation. I think that's exactly why we want to start having this. We, as you know, we start voting on November the 8th, but you can vote now. They have early voter registration right now that you can perform in. If for whatever the reason it doesn't work for you during that time, that there's an opportunity for you to do that now. And as you know, right now, we got lots of things. We got city council races, commissioner races for the state. I mean, everything is up to guard. And listen, y'all keep talking about y'all want to see different this, different that.
Yep.
It starts with the people that are in office.
If you don't vote, you can't complain.
Amen.
So you need to be able to get out there and vote. And your vote does matter because the elections that we have here in town, they're not decided by huge numbers. You know, a few thousand votes will move an entire conversation. So you want to make sure that you and your people are participating.
Yes, thank you. I wonder if we should, I don't know if there's a particular order that makes sense and one more bigger than the other, but I think the real question at hand is, why should I vote? Why should I vote? Because when I do vote, it seems that it doesn't matter. They're going to do what they want to do. That's what I hear all the time.
Yeah.
You know, it don't matter. They're going to do what they want to do. They don't need me. I'm just a little peon. Pastor Albert, can you just share, why is it important for people to vote?
One of the things I think I would very quickly want people to understand, especially when we're voting in these local elections and stuff, the some of the last stuff that was voted on in the minor season in the off presidential election season was decided upon with less than 30 votes. You know, 30 people got a chance to be able to make a determination on where tax dollars got spent, who sat on the school board, and who did various things. Now, every single one of these initiatives, these are, you know, they put it to the vote because they want people to be able to make a decision about how we spend the money that we raise as a city, as a county, as a state. And you participating in it is making it known. Even if your vote is for the side that doesn't win, that gets tabulated in, number one, the participation of people total that vote in, but also, too, how strong of an opinion was there on this particular initiative. Because a lot of times people think, don't nobody care. And if that's the case, then their side has more sway when it comes to things that don't come to a vote. You know, so when we talk about things in the House or in the Senate, those things go to committee. And when they're in committee, those particular people, those representatives, are using the opinions of the people that they represent. It's not just the winning side. Because if the side that didn't win still showed up and 49.5% of them believed in a particular issue, that is significant. And so every single vote matters. Every single vote matters. And as a voting bloc, we have a lot of power in the black community in being able to set the standard, set the stage for the issues that matter to us. In order to be able to talk about them later on in other years where there's money involved, budgets being decided upon, and that type of thing.
Wow, that is really good, and I really hope that people was able to connect to that. I wonder, so I think we should probably start with the school board. I think that's a good starting spot. Yeah. So right now in St. Cloud for District 742, and I apologize to our other listeners that are involved in other school districts, but in District 742, there are currently 6 people running for 3 spots. Now, they've had a couple of candidate forums around town where they've shared their views and shared their thoughts. And I just wanted you guys, I'm just going to name the names of the people that are running. And again, Higher Works Collaborative is not endorsing any candidates, but just sharing information for you to make an informed decision. But for those 3 positions that are available at District 742, we have Mike Buckers is running, Teresa Karlstead is running, Zachary Dorholt is running, Bashir O'Meara, Nicole Rearson, Natalie Ringsmuth Copeland, and Heather Weems are all candidates who made it past primary in August, and now are all trying to get these last 3 seats.
And some of them are incumbents.
And some of them are incumbents, correct.
So they're already.
Some of them are already sitting in there, and some of them are the seats that are trying to be had. So, and I wanted to bring that up specifically for the school board. When we talk about all the different problems, the policies, the different advocacy problems that we are lacking in our schools, it starts with the school board. We can fuss at the teachers, we can fuss at the principals, we can even fuss at the superintendent if we want to. But at the end of the day, the rubber hits the road with the school board. That's where policies is made, that's where big decisions are made, and we know how it works, right? It starts top down. In order for us to see a difference, it's got to start at the top so that we can start really working it. And I know that, District 742 has made lots of improvements over the last few years, but let me tell you, they got so much further to go still. And so I don't want us to ever think that we have arrived, because we haven't arrived, but we've come a very long way. But we still have a major gap in reading, a major gap in math, all of it. Our black and brown kids are suffering. Some of it because of the curriculum that we are still choosing to use based on state statutes. Some of it is a lack of cultural understanding from some of the teachers. There's just so many different variables at play that you don't want to really call 1 or 2 things out, but there is a need for us to be aware of what's happening in our communities.
Well, and it's not just us saying that, right? Statistically speaking, children of color graduate at a far less percentage rate than their white counterparts. And so we know that, the school board knows that, the state of Minnesota education department knows that, because this is not just a problem that exists in our area, although we have really good numbers that we can look at and concentrate on in our area. But this is a real situation, and I agree with you, buddy. The school board is the place to start, because statistically speaking, it looks like we're picking and choosing our kids.
Yes.
Statistically speaking, it looks like we're choosing our white kids over our black kids. Now, no one, either in office or on the job working for the school district, is ever going to admit to that. But the numbers themselves don't lie. When the graduation rate is 87% for a white child going through our school for graduation, and that drops down to something like 46%, for a child of color, something is going on in there. And so being able to put some focus behind the school board, which, by the way, it covers the most area of all of our regional elected positions. So more so than your county commissioners, city council, to a large extent your representatives for the state houses, both Senate and maybe not so much the Senate, but definitely in the House. The school district actually crosses over into multiple areas, because District 742 covers all 3, covers the Tri-County area for schooling, covers, it's a vast majority of the kids that are in Stearns, but Sherburne as well, and then there's some outreach over into Benton. And we have, in all of the cities that are arranged, St. Cloud, Sauk Rapids, Sartell, St. Joseph, St. Augusta, and Wake Park, all the schools that are in between there that are residing in those places, the school board actually has coverage in all of those places and spaces. And so this is a significant election and a significant group to be voting for, because it's going to speak to our kids not just in one area but in multiple areas. And so it's worth our while to pay attention to this race and to the people that are in it.
And I think that's good. And I don't know, I'll have to do some checking, and please check our website, come back and check out. I don't know if there's another school board forum coming up here within the next few weeks or not, but I would encourage you to go do your research, do your homework. Do your homework. All of those candidates they all have public filings, so you can Google it, you can Bing it, whatever your search engine is, whatever it is, you can look them up. All of them got websites, talk about where they at, what they're trying to do.
Yep.
So I want to encourage you to do that. The next one I think is important that we should talk about is the commissioner's race. Ooh. Do you know that for I don't know how many years have I been voting, and I see different commissioners and I just pick people, right? Mm-hmm. I don't understand really what am I picking a commissioner for. It wasn't until recently when we had our conversation and you explained kind of the commissioner's role for the whole county.
You know, in just a few minutes, you know, I think that what we want to make sure we understand is that the county commissioners, that's the governing board for the largest municipality that exists in most of greater Minnesota's municipalities. And so the county is going to be bigger in many regards than most cities. Like, you know, beyond St. Cloud, I don't know that there's any other municipality that's large enough to even compare to what the city would be that lives in it. You know, so, you know, we think of the Alexandrias, or even if not even going that far, you know, look at Wake Park, St. Augusta, Sartell, Sauk Rapids, the counties that those cities live in is a much bigger municipality. And so that government institution carries a bigger pen, if you will, bigger budget. They got a larger budget. They have a larger say. They cover and have responsibility for a larger area. And so when we think of things outside of the city limits, right, when you get away from the city limits, that is most likely going to be county for snow removal, for road construction and improvements and bridge maintenance. If it doesn't raise up to the level of it being a state thing or a federal thing, the counties are responsible for a lot of that work for your social welfare programs. All of those are coming from the county. So the county health and human services departments all across the state, those are county controlled. The dollars that come from the federal government that go toward helping people in those situations and those circumstances are funneled to the counties. And then the counties themselves are responsible for getting that out into the community. And so there is a huge responsibility that our counties have. Voting. We're talking about voting right now. Guess who is responsible for running and maintaining voting in our state, right? There is the Secretary of State that is over it, is the chief officer of it, but it is up to each of the counties to be able to staff election voting polls and to be able to maintain the integrity of the election through voting machines and ballot counting. If there's an audit or a manual count that's to be done, that's going to be done at the county level, not at the city level. And so there is a huge amount of responsibility that falls onto the shoulders of the commissioners, who have a lot of say-so about making decisions about where money gets spent, where do we want to go with the future of the county, where should we invest money. I'll give you a quick example. Stearns County pays money for the North Star rail line, but we don't have the North Star rail line anywhere in Stearns County. But because we want to glean the benefits of being able to have access to it, we contribute money from our county into a rail line that we have yet to be able to see to get here. you as a member of Stearns County or even Sherburne County or Benton County have a say-so in where the dollars get spent from your county, from your property taxes. You get a say-so in what that means. And so, big deal. You know, and if you don't live in Stearns County, every county has a commissioner board, and that board of commissioners, same thing. They have a lot of power, a lot of say-so over the budget and where a lot of those dollars go and what that money is used for.
And I would again, do your research, Google it.
Do your homework.
Find out who is your county commissioner.
Do your homework.
I'm not going to tell you. I could tell you, but I want you to go figure it out for yourself.
Right.
And then write them a letter of either support or just say, hey, I just want to have coffee with you and get to know you. Because, again, that is a public office, that a person you elected, and they should know how you feel and what your values and views are. So we're running out of time, and I really want to I want to just make sure I touch a couple of other things. Kind of, again, I want to encourage you all to go do your homework. Again, all of these candidates can be found online. But for Minnesota Senate District 14, you got Eric Putnam and Tama Tice.
Yep.
For Minnesota House District 14A, we got Tammy Calhoun and Bernie Perryman. And for Minnesota House District 14B, we have Erin Henning and Dan Wagelmont. And again, want to encourage you all, do your homework.
Do your homework.
Do your homework.
That's important. And because it's important, every viewpoint is important. And it needs to be understood that despite where you might land on the political spectrum as far as, you know, right or left, whatever your persuasion is, be engaged.
Yes.
Right? An informed voter, an informed electorate is a very powerful group of people. And we want you to know. We want you to know better so you can do better. And we've contributed, time through the years to be able to learn what it takes in order to move the issue or move the conversation or move the needle on a lot of these initiatives. And we know that it's so powerful and so important to get as many people out there and involved and engaged as possible. Do your homework. Do your homework. Get out there. Don't just sit on the sideline. Don't let somebody else make a decision for you that you can make for yourself. So get out there and vote. Go in there, get your sticker, and then post it. Twitter and Facebook, and let other people know that you listen. I'm not letting the government dictate to me how to participate with me. I'm going to participate with my government and be a part of this electorate.
And I think it's important. And then city council is just as important. And I think that sometimes we don't understand exactly what they do and where they at, but they are also responsible for a lot of the policies, a lot of the tax levies, a lot of the bonds, a lot of the stuff that we do, the streets, the garbage, all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. They are very much responsible for to be able to permits, the parks. It's so much that they are responsible for, but more than anything, they are your representatives in your neighborhoods, in your wards, in your districts. So it's very important that you know who is your representative, who is the person that speaks for you in these meetings, that feels and shares your values and your views. And maybe they don't, but they need to know how you feel.
Right. And if there isn't anybody representing you and your voice and all that, maybe that's a good sign for you to get involved even at a higher level.
Yes.
And maybe you need to be that. Maybe you are the one that will speak out for your voice and for your thoughts and your ideas. And we want to encourage that too, that there is next level participation that you can get involved in. And so don't just sit back on the sideline. Don't let this opportunity go by without you being able to make a difference in whatever way you deem necessary to do so.
And then I'll follow up and finish up with this thought here. Here are your candidates for city council. In Ward 1, Dave Masters, who is running unopposed. Ward 2 is Seal Dwyer and Sandra Braxton running against Karen Larson. This is all for Ward 2. Ward 3 is Paul Brandmeier and Jake Anderson. And Ward 4 is Hassan Youssef and Mike Conway. So those are the 4 running. The at-large are not up right now. That would be in 2 years. So again, do your homework. Check out these candidates. It's very important. I hope that we was able to help, with this today's message and really push you to do your own informational, educational homework. It's very important. But as always, it's been a pleasure. Look forward to talking to you next time.
It's been good, y'all.
Peace. Put up the deuces.